What if I told you there's $1 million sitting in your dealership right now? You're not getting it. Not new leads, not more advertising, not a bigger market. $1 million in gross profit your team is leaving on the table every single year, right? Now, here's the thing. It's not the market. It's not the money. It's not even your people. It's the management. Now, I'm not saying that to point fingers. I'm saying it because that's where you have the most control, and it's where most dealers underinvest. I'm David Lowe, the automotive sales coach. I spent more than 40 years in this business, on the floor, at the desk, building teams. And in this series, I'm going to show you exactly how to get that $1 million back. Let's get into it. Now, when it comes to your profitability, there's really only 3 levers you can pull. There's the market, the money, and the management. So let's talk about the market, right? That's really your location and your brand, the economy and interest rates, right? Now, can you change it? I guess so, but it would take years and take millions of dollars. You could add another franchise, you could build a new building in a better place, right? Most of us are working on the hand we're dealt, right? All right, so let's talk about money. That's your advertising dollar, your inventory, which is floor plan, right? You can throw more money at the problem, and most dealers do. They spend tens of thousands every month chasing leads. But here's what I've learned after 4 decades. You can't buy your way to excellence. More leads doesn't fix a broken process. They just expose it faster. All right, so let's talk about the management. This is the lever that most dealers ignore. It's the only one that creates compounding returns without compounding your costs. I want you to think about it. You can't control the interest rates, and you really can't control what the factory allocates, right? You can't control Carvana and CarMax and competition that moves down the street. But you can control how your team sells. You can control whether they follow the process. You can control the habits they build every single day. Management is the multiplier, and most dealerships have left it on the table for way too long. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the math, because this isn't theory, this is reality. So we'll take an average dealership, say 500 leads, 20% closing, right? That's 100 sales a month. How's the store? Good traffic, decent team. Now, what if that team got just a little bit better? I mean, increase their closing percent by just 3 points from 20 to 23%. Now, that's not a miracle. That's better process, better follow-up, better presentation. Your salespeople actually building value before they get to the desk, right? At 500 leads, a 3% improvement adds 15 deals a month. 15 extra units at your average gross. That's over $500,000 a year. Now let's talk about the deals you're already making. Move your PVR, your per vehicle retail gross, by just $300, not $1,000, $300. How? Better value building during the presentation, better trade evaluation, smarter desking strategy. And here's the one that'll surprise you. We help dealers double the percentage of deals they close at first pencil. Double. And we do it with a single, simple conversation. No tricks, no pressure. Just a proven approach that get buyers to say yes faster at better numbers. Now, at 100 cars a month, that extra 300 per deal is another, what, $36,000 monthly? Over $400,000 a year? Let's add those together. We're talking nearly $1 million with no additional advertising, no new building, no hiring spree, just getting your team to execute the fundamentals, the things they already know they should be doing, but aren't. So why aren't they doing it? Here's the truth that no one wants to hear. Prosperity is often the enemy of excellence. I've been teaching this for decades. When things are going well, we stop pushing, we stop building, we get comfortable. I want you to think back to 2020, 2021, right? COVID created the greatest seller's market I've ever seen, and I think that we'll ever see. Inventory was scarce, demand was off the charts. You could sell a car for sticker or way above without even trying. Take a look at what PVRs did during that climb. They climbed 4, 5, 6, even sometimes more per deal. Okay, so what happened? What was the result? I'll tell you what dealers are telling me. Their teams got lazy. Processes went out the window. I mean, why work for the deal when the deal works itself? But that market is gone. Inventory's back. Interest rates are up. Customers are shopping harder than ever. And now we're paying the price for getting comfortable. The skills eroded. The habits disappeared. The discipline that created real professional salespeople, gone. And while we were getting comfortable, the world has changed around us. You know what? I remember when CarMax launched, dealers laugh. Who's going to buy a car that way? Since then, they've stolen millions of car sales from franchise dealers, right? Now, Carvana's arrived. Dealers are laughing again. Same story. Now, Amazon is going to sell used and partnering with manufacturers. AI-driven tools are set to change your business. Again, the threats are accelerating, and the old standard, the comfortable standard, won't survive. So what's really going on your showroom floor? I'll tell you what it is. Too many salespeople are starting their deals at the end. They know what the buyer wants, and they know how much they want to pay. They even know what they want for the trade. They come to the desk without having done any of the work to establish relationship, to build value, and to gain a today commitment. They need to be better. But here's what most dealers get wrong. They think the answer is like more training, right? Bring in a big name speaker, send the team to a workshop, buy another video program, and for 2 weeks things improve, maybe 3, then what? Everything goes back to the way it was. The word tracks get forgotten, the process slides, you're back to babysitting and chasing half-finished deals. Training isn't the problem. Follow through is the problem. Most training fails because it's an event, not a habit. It's something that happens to your team, not something that happens within your team every single day. Let me say something that might surprise you. Profit is not the same as excellence. You can be profitable and still be mediocre. You can hit your numbers and still be leaving money on the table. You can have a good year while your competitors are building something that will crush you in 3. I see it all the time. A dealer looks at the P&L, sees black ink and thinks, we're doing fine, why change? That's the most dangerous mindset in the business. Because fine doesn't future-proof your dealership. Fine doesn't create the culture that attracts top talent. Fine doesn't turn your store into the standard in your market. Profit tells you where you've been. Excellence tells you where you're going. And excellence requires discipline. It requires systems. It requires building habits that compound every single day. That's exactly why I created the Dealership Playbook. This isn't a training program, it's an operating system. It's principle-based selling, the timeless fundamentals of how people buy and how professionals sell, retrofitted for today's internet-driven marketplace. No game playing, no high-pressure tactics, just honest-to-goodness relationship and value selling. We give your team a clear roadmap, but it's not about memorization. It's about transformation. When your team understands what to do and, more importantly, why to do it, their thinking changes, their actions change, and your results change. Now, here's what makes our system different. We focus on habits, not events. 10 specific habits that, when practiced daily, create consistent, measurable, massive results. We train managers to be the change agents because you can't outsource culture. Your managers have to lead it. We build in daily reinforcement, 15 minutes of training every morning that compounds into mastery over time. We give you complete visibility. You see who's engaged, who's improving, and where the gaps are. No more guessing, data, not feelings. This is how you will add $1 million in gross profit next year. Not by hoping your team gets better, by building a system that makes better inevitable. Now, here's what I want you to do. If you're serious about transforming your dealership, not just training your team, but actually transforming your results, subscribe to this channel. Over the coming weeks, I'm going to walk you through the entire system. Step by step, you'll learn why most training fails. You'll learn the 10 habits that will separate the best dealerships from the rest. You'll learn how to build a culture where excellence becomes automatic. And at the end, you'll have everything you need to become the standard in your market. This isn't just about selling cars. It's about building something that lasts, a team that executes with honor, a culture that attracts winners, a dealership that others measure themselves against. That's what we're building here. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll see you in the next video. Good selling.